Okay, this video is of making a bow for the bow drill primitive fire method. Let me show you the items I have. Okay, this is my bow. It's about 2.5 foot long. I found a piece that has a natural curve in it. A natural curve or a dog leg is helpful, doesn't need to be. You want your bow material, doesn't really matter what the wood is. I just don't want it too rotten. So it has to be fairly strong. It's about the length of, like I said, 2.5 foot long. So measuring from my armpit out to the end of my fingers is how I judge it. I have a spindle, which we'll need to check the tightness on the string. The string I'm using that I'll attach to the bow on both ends is number 36 bank line. I like bank line. It works very well for this process. I like static lines. You can use paracord, your shoelaces, but they will stretch. Bank line works very well for this. It's a twisted tarred nylon, and I have a folding saw that I use to cut my bow if need be, and to help attach the string. So let me get set up and I'll show you the process of tying it. Okay, one of the first things I do with my bow, here's my bow. I'm going to string from here to here. One of the things I do is I take my folding saw, and the direction where my string is going to go, I cut the ends flat on my bow, and then I take a folding saw and I cut a vertical notch right on the ends, down about the thickness of twice your rope or so. When I first started practicing bow drill, I had a lot of problems with the bow. My string was stretching, my string was coming down the bow, loosening, making the bow too loose. So that vertical notch is a trick I use to help hold this string in. The way I tie the string is, I'll place it in the bow, in my notch, and then I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to hold the line, and I'm going to wrap around the bow very tightly. Minimum of 2 to 3, 4 is better if you can do it, wraps. We're just going to tie 2 right here. And I don't do any real fancy knot tying. What I do is I just tie a triple overhand knot. So I'll do 3 loops and I'll pull all this tight. Once I have that tight, I'll hold the knot and I'll pull really hard on the string to get the things to tighten up. If I have any tag line left, I'll just run that back through the notch too. There's one end tied. Okay, I have a notch already carved into this other end. I'm going to go ahead and place that into the notch. Now the trick here is you don't want your string too tight, because we're going to need to be able to put this spindle in and twist it. So I normally just get it, and it will stretch up some. So I normally just put it in here where my string is kind of snug. It's not super tight, so a little bit of slack in it. There'll be more slack in it once I'm done. So I just get it in there straight, and then I do the same tying process on this end. I'm going to wrap it multiple times, pulling tight as I wrap it. And then the same process of my knot here. I will pull that snug too. See, I've got a little slack in there just from doing the process. So let's go ahead and put the spindle in and see how it's going to be. The way I put my spindle in, I put the end that's going in the bearing block between the string and the bow. And then I will just twist that in. Okay, that's pretty tight, maybe almost too tight. But you can see I do have slack in there. You do not want this too tight. Okay, that should work. Okay, that's how I make my bows.